Talk about your thoughts at the end of the second round after you knocked her down.
God, I just wish there were 10 more seconds on the clock.
That's it? Oh, sorry. There seemed to be a little bit of like a weight controversy before the fight, kind of with her weight. Did that bother you at all, or how did you deal with that?
You know, at first I was a little irritated, but there's a language barrier there, and there were some issues apparently with the way that the contract was worded. I mean, it never really changes, but that was there. But at the end of the day, I just put it in the back of my mind because it didn't really matter.
Erica is a shorter fighter, and she has a little bit less distance than you do. Can you explain about fighting, being able to fight her? She's probably a little bit different points than you used to.
Yeah, for sure. And we knew that was going to be one of the big advantages that I had, that I needed to make sure that I took advantage of, just having that range and being able to move out of the range very quickly.
So using your range and putting on the pressure, was that part of the whole entire game plan, preventing her from getting on the inside?
Yeah, we noticed that she had a tendency to really cover up and when you come in heavy with strikes, and so my game plan really was to use my range and angles and move in and out and get my shots and then get out of the way.
Did you get a chance to see the main event, and what was your thoughts?
I did. Amber Brown put on a laudable performance, but Ayaka still came on top. But if that's the next fight that is announced for me, then I'm going to be in the gym ready for that.
Is that the next fight you'll be looking for?
I would like that fight, but if that's not what comes, then I'll be ready for whatever it is that comes.
Did you do a lot of preparation for groundwork, considering you're going to be fighting Erica, and were you surprised that it didn't really go there?
We did. There wasn't really anything that we neglected, because I know that she's such a well-rounded fighter. So we trained everything, and I felt like I was ready for everything. I was a little surprised that it didn't go to the ground, but that's how the fight game goes sometimes.
Roxy, you dedicated this fight to the tsunami victims and survivors in 2011. What did it mean to you to get to win tonight and to be able to dedicate it to them?
I was actually not looking forward to fighting today because it was such a big, horrible day back then. That was in Japan when the tsunami struck, and I got trapped in the office and I had to evacuate, and it really sucked. But I hope that I won and that I would be able to get the mic and let people know that it's not over for them still. People are still living in temporary houses, and fight Japan. So it was cool in the end.
It was a very big night for 125ers tonight. We just had Sarah up here, and she's saying she deserves the title shot. What's your stance on that?
That was a great fight. Sarah and Andrea Lee had a great fight. I believe that I've earned a title shot, and I would like that very much, meaning give me the title shot next. I want the belt.
Roxanne, what did you think of the split decision? Did you think the fight was as close as the scorecards reflected?
I was a little surprised that it was a split decision. I thought that I dominated stand-up and I did enough to get the unanimous decision. Maybe it was because I was on the bottom in the first round. Maybe I lost that one, but I don't really feel like she did damage. But, I mean, that's the judges, so I'm just glad that I got the final win.
Do you think there's still a little bit of struggle with MMA judging and appreciating somebody's game off their back?
Yeah, I think that how they have ref schools. I would love to have there be judge schools and judge training, just in general to help out the judges, because, we don't know their background, who they are, or anything. So.
I saw this comment on Twitter that said, "I never thought I'd see the day that we have a sprawl and brawl Roxy." Much different style for you. How do you feel about that performance and that approach?
This fight really meant a lot to me. My head has never felt so clear in a fight as today. I really felt like, man, I can dodge this strike and I can strike. Like, it's really cool for me to be able to show off my new striking ability. It's getting better and it's cool.
There was a level of aggression today that I don't think we've seen from you. Just like you were really pushing the pace instead of counter striking. Was that all part of it?
Yeah, my coach John Wood really prepared me well for this fight. We watched tape and he taught me how to cut off the cage and really keep her against the cage and, be patient and go in hard and come out and in and out. And I was very well prepared for this fight, and she was really tough. She was actually like physically stronger than me. I didn't expect that, so I was trying to grapple with her, and then I was getting tired. I was like, man, I should strike. Okay.
You were able to bloody her during the fight as well. What was your thoughts on that? Because I don't think it's very often that you do able to get a fighter to bleed.
It's funny you say that. I think this is the first fight where I actually made my opponent bleed a lot, and I was a little excited about that, despite myself.
Is that something you're going to be looking for again?
Oh, I don't really like inflicting pain. I'd prefer the submission. So once is good, but we'll see.
So what's next for you, Roxy?
I would like that title shot. And I'm excited that Jennifer Maia won, because I've kind of had it with fighting Porto. I mean, she's great, but I fought her twice. I don't really, that's good, you know.
Is there any injuries after the fight, or do you feel good?
My knuckle's a little swollen, and I'm kind of excited because that means I hit her hard.
Right.
New for me.
It's always good.
I'm happy.
Are you going to take time off, or are you going to get right back into syndicate?
I always take a week off just because I get hit in the head in a fight, and then back into training because I love training.
What did it mean to you to be able to be here for camp and to be local and to be able to go to the gym and be able to work out here?
There's pluses and minuses to fighting at home. A plus being that I can not be nervous because I can sit home and watch anime and relax. And the negative would be my mom gives me the worried eyes, like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" I'm like, "Mom, okay," because I live with my mom. But it's okay. I like fighting in Vegas. I had a lot of friends and teammates come. That was cool.
Is the transition complete between Japan MMA Roxy and now TKO and bloody John Wood Syndicate MMA Roxy? Is it complete now? Is that transition?
I love that. That's so funny. I think that the transition is complete between my plateauing in Japan and now coming to America and training at Syndicate. And I'm more well-rounded than I've ever been.
Speaking of team, just one question I had to ask. How hard was it to convince the teammates to dress up for the weigh-ins, and how much thought and effort goes into that? I mean, it seems that you show up with a new outfit every time. How much time do you guys put into going for that?
I made a big effort with myself. I bought and I practiced spinning the weapons by watching YouTube videos. They did that on their own. They didn't even tell me they were going to dress up. So for the last fight, I showed up and they suddenly popped out in their Mortal Kombat outfits. It was like, cool. And then this time I'm like, okay, could you do that again? And then we kind of planned it like they couldn't get on the stage because it was so small. So I had the thing where I'd be like, come on, and then they got in front, which is cool.
Your thoughts on Angela Hill's awesome costume?
She was so cool. I loved her costume. It was awesome, and she even did the little thing. Improved that a lot. I think more fighters should do that, but we can't bring weapons because it's prohibited. But we didn't know that, so whatever.
Well, congratulations on the win. How's the whole transition process for you coming over to Invicta and having such an impressive performance?
Oh, it's great. I fought in California in January, and I was happy to get the call to step in on short notice just because, I like them. I like Invicta, I like Julie and Shannon and everyone, and, it's nice to be able to show people that women can fight like fuck, So, yeah, it was fun.
Do you feel that they've embraced the personality? Because I definitely think when you came in, you gave them a nice injection of energy and excitement. Is that something that they've kind of embraced and have kind of pushed you forward to keep giving the personality?
Yeah, no, Invicta is an open book. They let you do whatever you want. Almost. They haven't denied me of anything yet, but I'm working on it. But yeah, Invicta's great, like you get to kind of show your personality and have fun with it, and they encourage it, and I like kind of performing and just putting on a show for the fans and stuff, so it's been a good medium for me.
You're currently training over at Alliance right now with Christine Stanley, who's in Invicta, Jessica Penne. Can you tell us a little bit about making that transition over to Alliance? I mean, Christine had told me earlier that there's a reason why they call you Overkill, because you're always working very hard over there. Can you tell us a little bit about the team and how it is over there at Alliance?
Yeah, the main reason I went over there was because I knew they had a bunch of girls my size, and that was my main reason for leaving my original camp. but I've also found like a really nice niche, and the coaches there, like they're all very MMA oriented. They all know how to tweak my style in order to make it work for MMA, whereas before I felt like I was just kind of shooting in the dark and doing like kind of a trial and error with every fight. So it's nice to be at a gym where the coaches and the teammates have a lot of experience, and they're able to give me little suggestions and give me little nudges in the right direction. So I feel like it's really helped me a lot.
Yeah, from going from like the UFC and the Ultimate Fighter to coming to through Alliance and then coming here to Invicta, you obviously you're a different fighter. Do you think? Can you describe that kind of transition from being what you were when you started out in the Ultimate Fighter house to being here in Invicta and having 2 wins?
Well, in the Ultimate Fighter house, I was definitely a Muay Thai fighter with a little bit of wrestling. I feel like I've been able to become more of an MMA fighter now that I've been out in San Diego and just trained with a bunch of other successful MMA fighters, especially ones my size. And, instead of figuring it out in the cage, I was able to figure it out in sparring with my teammates, and it's just helped tremendously. Like I feel like every fight I look 1,000 times better, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with my decision.
But how far are you out from a title fight, do you think?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they called me for the next fight for a title fight, and I'd take it, So who knows? But I'd also take a fight against another strawweight. I'm open to whatever. Like, I just want to stay active, really. And I have the cardio to go 5 rounds. So even if they called me short notice for a title fight, I'd take it. Like, I'm not going to back down from something like that. So we'll see. We'll see what the fans think. We'll see what Invicta thinks, and go from there.
You expressed some frustration with how everything went down with the UFC before, but you've now been able to come down here, get 2 wins, kind of get some confidence. Do you think this has kind of been helpful to your career to kind of, as we said, get 2 big wins for yourself and stay active and be in the spotlight that way?
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people doubted my skills, but I literally went from fighting someone who wasn't ranked to fighting someone who was ranked #1. So you're not going to see what I can do immediately just because I didn't have the experience. And now that I'm gaining that experience, I'm really excited about the future. I mean, this was a step up for me after my last fight. My last fight was against Alita Gray, and this fight was against Stephanie Egging, who's beaten a few girls who are still in the UFC. So I feel like with every step, I'm just showing my worth, showing my net worth, showing how good I am as a fighter, and eventually, people will see it.
You're known kind of as somebody who's very good at marketing yourself on Twitter and being out there and being, showing your personality, I guess. How much of that is just what you want to do, and how much of it is trying to promote yourself and what you're trying to do in your career?
I mean, I have fun talking shit. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I think it just came naturally to me to, like, live tweet during live events and like even press conferences. It's fun to poke fun at things, especially when something takes itself so seriously. So yeah, like a lot of that is just me, but also I realize, like people are gonna follow me because I have this personality or whatever. But yeah, like I enjoy doing that. I hope to, when I stop fighting, I hope to still be able to do that and still engage people and fans with whatever route I take after I stop fighting. So yeah.
This is your second fight in Invicta, your second dominant performance. Is that kind of the game plan when you go in there and fight for them? It's just to go in there, kick ass and take names?
Yeah, like I don't want to get hurt. Like, basically my game plan is to make them look not as good as me, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I was really happy with this fight. The next fight is going to be probably a totally different game plan unless I'm fighting someone who has a similar style. So we take each fight as it comes, and we just try to highlight what I'm good at and go from there.
And you said you wanted to stay active, so does that mean you're going to be looking to get into the next May card, or are you going to want some time off?
No, I want to get into the next May card. Like this is gonna go down by like Tuesday, so so I'll be ready. You know, I'll be ready and waiting for that call from like Shannon or Julie or something, and hopefully it's a good fight.
Thank you.
Thanks.